At the edge of all things, where time forgets to move and the universe holds its breath, she stands silent, unwavering, eternal. She is Sailor Pluto, the guardian of the space-time door, the sentinel of transitions. She stands alone at the edge of eternity, a shadow between worlds, a whisper in the fabric of time. While others fight with flame and thunder, she commands stillness. While others walk beneath the sun and moon, she dwells between them. Neither past nor future, but the sacred space in between. She watches from afar, hands gently resting on the garnet rod, her heart burned by a silence deeper than space. Her life is shaped by silence, by laws too ancient to question, by love too deep to name. She does not cry out, yet her presence resounds like the ticking of a celestial clock. She is duty-bound, heart full, and always a step removed from the world she protects. But beneath her quiet grace lies a longing to feel, to believe, to belong, to be more than a myth written in the language of restraint. To know Sailor Pluto is to stand at the threshold of fate and ask yourself, what would you give up to protect everyone else? To look inward to the parts of ourselves we hide, the sacrifices we make, the truths we keep. She is time, yes, but more than that, she is the moment before the choice, the soul who keeps the world turning by standing still. She is a mystery. She is a memory. She is the hush between heartbeats. Sailor Pluto is one of the most symbolically layered characters in the Sailor Moon series. As the guardian of time and space, she embodies themes that transcend the literal and enter the philosophical. Her character draws from mythology, cosmic archetype, and emotional truths that speak to the human experience of solitude, obligation, and transformation. Her civilian name Setsuna means moment or instant, referencing her relationship with time and the fleeting nature of her presence in the world. It's also symbolic of her ephemeral happiness and quiet longing. While Sailor Pluto draws her name in symbolic essence from the Roman god Pluto, also known as Hades in Greek mythology, lord of the underworld and ruler of unseen realms. Much like the mythic deity, Sailor Pluto governs a threshold not of the dead, but of time itself. She is the quiet guardian of the space-time door, the sentinel of fate, endings, and transitions. Her stillness, poise, and wisdom mirror the inescapability of time, mortality, and change. She doesn't merely control time as a power. She is time's embodiment, unshaken, inevitable, and often misunderstood. Her role places her firmly within the mythological archetypes of the gatekeeper figures who protect the borders between realms. Whether like Charon, the ferryman of souls, or Kiroberos, the underworld's eternal watchdog, Sailor Pluto is a modern reinterpretation of the lonely threshold guardian. Bound by duty, she stands alone at the edge of timelines, forbidden from interference except in the direst moments. Her very existence is not allowed to be known. She is a lone soldier whom no one knows about. Her solitude is not punishment, but purpose. And within it lies a kind of hidden wisdom, ancient, patient, and only revealed when the universe demands it. Symbolically, Sailor Pluto also resonates with Kronos, the Greek personification of time. Through her abilities, like Kronos' typhoon, and the power to stop time, she reflects both the governor and victim of time's merciless flow. As a figure of cosmic order, her power is immense, but always tempered by restriction and sacrifice. In her, we find the convergence of death and rebirth, time and stillness, silence and strength, a soul suspended at a crossroads of fate. Pluto's dominion over time isn't just a superpower, it's a symbol of the invisible forces that govern all life. She embodies inevitability. Just as time marches forward without pause, so too does Pluto act with quiet conviction. She reminds us of the things we cannot change, aging, ending, goodbyes, and how we might meet them with grace. She's the stillness amid motion, While the world rushes on, she stands still. She is a fixed point in a moving universe, representing inner stability, contemplation, and the sacred pause before action. The symbolic traits of the planet Pluto deeply influence the character and essence of Sailor Pluto. Among the most prominent is the theme of transformation and rebirth. In mythology and astrology, Pluto governs the cycles of life, death, and renewal. This mirrors Sailor Pluto's most pivotal moment, her sacrificial death after breaking the taboo of stopping time, and her eventual reincarnation. Her story embodies the essence of letting go, surrendering to the inevitable, and emerging renewed, carrying greater depths and wisdom. Just as planet Pluto dwells in the farthest, most hidden regions of our solar system, Sailor Pluto stands at the very edge of time and space. She guards a gate that few ever witness, and her presence is often unseen, but crucial. Though she rarely fights on battlefields, her role is cosmic in scale. The continuity of time itself hinges on her watchful stillness. She is a guardian of thresholds, of transitions, of all things hidden, yet essential. Pluto the planet is small in size, yet wields immense gravitational influence. Sailor Pluto shares this quality. She is quiet, composed, and rarely reveals the full extent of her power. But when she does, her actions can alter fate, defy time, and reshape the world. She reminds us that strength does not always shout. It can whisper and still move stars. Lastly, the slow and distant orbit of Pluto, taking 248 Earth years to circle the Sun, reflects Sailor Pluto's own timeless nature. She is ageless, wise beyond years, and often removed from the warmth of companionship. Like the planet that bears her name, she drifts at the outer rim, observing rather than participating, distant but essential. Her solitude is not coldness, but the natural stillness of one who guards the eternal. Sailor Pluto's powers are among the most mysterious and profound in the Sailor Moon universe. As the guardian of time and space, her abilities transcend the physical and enter the metaphysical, rooted in ancient forces that govern the flow of essence itself. Her powers are not about spectacle or aggression. They are about restraint, consequence, and hidden strength. Her signature attack, Dead Scream, is deceptively quiet. She whispers the phrase rather than shouting it, releasing a dark sphere of energy through her garnet rod. The stillness of the incantation reflects her entire essence. It is death cloaked in silence, a cosmic echo rather than a cry. Another of her formidable abilities is Chronos Typhoon, introduced in the manga and Sailor Moon Crystal. This attack channels a vortex of time-space energy through her garnet rod, named after Kronos, the Greek embodiment of time. Perhaps her most defining ability is one she is forbidden to use, the power to stop time. It is a sacred taboo, a cosmic law she is not allowed to break. But in the face of catastrophe, Sailor Pluto chooses love over law and halts time itself to save others, knowing it will cost her life. This moment is not only her greatest act of power, but her greatest act of humanity. It reveals her willingness to sacrifice everything for those she quietly protects. In doing so, she dies, but also transcends, becoming a myth within a myth, a woman who defied eternity for love. Beyond these named attacks, Sailor Pluto wields the Garnet Rod, a talisman of immense power topped with a garnet orb. This orb is one of the 3 sacred talismans, alongside Neptune's deep aqua mirror and Uranus's space sword. These relics are required to summon Sailor Saturn, the Senshi of destruction and rebirth. Pluto's talisman not only serves as a conduit of energy, but also as a symbol of her authority over time and transitions. In addition to her offensive abilities, Sailor Pluto can manipulate dimensional energy, teleport across time and space, and sense disruptions in the timeline. She has the rare ability to open or seal interdimensional gateways, allowing or denying passage between eras and realities. These abilities affirm her role not only as a soldier, but as a cosmic gatekeeper trusted with the very boundaries of existence. Sailor Pluto's powers are vast, but what makes them extraordinary is her restraint. She does not use them to dominate or dazzle. She uses them with gravity and purpose. Her strength lies not in what she displays, but in what she holds back until absolutely necessary. In this way, her abilities mirror her soul, deep, controlled, and profoundly powerful. Sailor Pluto is not merely a guardian of space and time. She is a living embodiment of cosmic law. Her power at the space-time door is a sacred position bestowed by Queen Serenity herself. And with it comes an immense responsibility. But this responsibility is not only power, it is restraint. To ensure balance in the universe, Sailor Pluto must live by 3 sacred taboos. Laws so severe that breaking any one of them risks a catastrophe, not just for her, but for time itself. These taboos are not just rules, they are existential boundaries. Each one reflects the deep philosophical burden of her role, a role that demands silence, obedience, and solitude. Together, they form the invisible cage in which her soul resides. The first taboo forbids Sailor Pluto from using her own powers to move through time. She may guard the door, open it for others under strict conditions, or sense disturbances in the timeline, but she herself must never step into the flow of time. This law represents the danger of temptation. Pluto must observe the suffering of others, the unraveling of worlds, and the death of friends, all while standing still. It is the burden of knowing what is to come, yet being forbidden to soften its arrival. This taboo forces her to choose duty over intervention, even when it breaks her heart. The second taboo demands that Sailor Pluto never leave her post at the space-time door. She is the sentinel of all ages, the watchful soul who guards the integrity of history. Her presence ensures that time flows undisturbed, that unauthorized access to the past or future remains impossible. This law speaks to isolation. It is a commandment of loneliness. In guarding time, she is forgotten by it. In protecting others, she is separated from them, not out of punishment, but out of necessity. Her absence could invite chaos. Her vigilance is what holds the timeline intact. In obeying this law, she surrenders her right to live a life of ordinary joys, companionship, celebration, even sorrow. The third and most sacred taboo is this: Sailor Pluto must never stop time. To halt the flow of time is to violate the natural order. It is an act that defies the rhythm of the universe. This law is more than forbidden. It is fatal. Should she ever break it, the consequence is instant death. This final taboo is the heart of Sailor Pluto's character. It is not just a rule, it is a moral line, one that she herself must never cross unless her love for others outweighs her obedience. And one day, she does break it. In an act of ultimate sacrifice, she stops time to save her friends from destruction, knowing it will cost her life. This is the moment her silence becomes a voice. It is her choice, her rebellion, her transcendence. She dies not as a function of duty, but as a woman who chose compassion over command. And breaking the most unbreakable law, Sailor Pluto proves that even guardians of time are human, and that sometimes to break the rules is the highest form of love. These three taboos are not merely limitations. They are mirrors of Sailor Pluto's soul. Each one reflects her conflict between eternal order and fleeting humanity. They restrain her, yes, but they also shape her. And when she ultimately chooses to break one, it is not a failure of duty. It is the fulfillment of her deepest self. For even time must bend in the face of love. While Sailor Pluto's love life is never explicitly explored in the Sailor Moon series like that of other characters, it is rich with unspoken depth, longing, and symbolic resonance. Her romantic narrative is defined not by overt relationships, but by what is unfulfilled, restrained, or quietly cherished from afar, which in itself is deeply poetic. The only romantic affection Pluto openly expresses is for King Endymion, the future version of Mamoru. To a woman who lives in silence, Endymion is warmth. To a soul confined to solitude, he is presence, rare, steady, and kind. He is the one who comes near her world without fear or dismissal. In a way, Endymion represents the life she could never have. Love, partnership, family. He is everything she stands apart from, and that very distance makes him sacred in her eyes. She never attempts to disrupt the sacred bond between Serenity and Endymion. She doesn't try to steal his heart. She never shows jealousy towards Serenity. She simply loves him, silently, loyally, and eternally. This is the kind of love that mirrors real life for many people. The person you admire deeply but can never reach. The love you carry silently, never voiced, never acted on. The ache that softens but never disappears and becomes part of who you are. Not all love is born in romance. Some love is gentler, deeper, and more enduring, woven not from longing, but from devotion. Such is the love between Sailor Pluto and Chibiusa, a bond that transcends time, age, and even duty itself. Sailor Pluto's existence was one of obedience and silence, a solitary guardian of cosmic law. And then, one day, a child appeared, small Lady Chibiusa, a girl with bright eyes and a fearless heart, too young to understand the rules, and therefore unafraid to cross them. In that innocence, she did what no one else had done. She approached Pluto. She named her Pooh. She saw the woman behind the weapon, the soul behind the sentinel. This act, simple in gesture but monumental in meaning, changed everything. Sailor Pluto's bond with Chibiusa is the first crack in the wall of her solitude. For the first time, someone needs her not for what she guards, but for who she is. Chibiusa doesn't love her because she holds the keys to time. She loves her because Pluto is kind, patient, warm, and always there for her. In this love, Pluto finds something she was never allowed to have: a human connection, unburdened by taboo, untouched by law. And in return, she gives everything. It is a maternal love, yes, but it is also the love of a protector who would die 1,000 silent deaths just to make sure the child in her care lives freely. It is through Chibiusa that Sailor Pluto's humanity begins to bloom. Her protectiveness is not born of obligation, but of a sacred choice made in stillness. She watches over the girl not as a soldier following orders, but as a soul who has found something, someone worth breaking the rules for. This love is not passive, it's active, fierce, and transformative. When the moment comes that Chibiusa is in danger, Pluto does what no law permits. She stops time. For that, she pays with her own life. But this death is not a tragedy. It is an act of pure love, a selfless final offering. It is her way of saying, "You gave me a reason to feel. I give you a chance to live." Sailor Pluto shows us that the highest form of love is not always romantic. It's the love that asks for nothing, expects nothing, but gives everything. The kind that exists in silence, in protection, and in sacrifice. Behind the silent guardian of time lives Setsuna Meioh, a quiet, elegant, and enigmatic figure who walks among ordinary people. While Sailor Pluto embodies the cosmic and the eternal, Setsuna is her tether to the human world, a glimpse into what she might have become if she hadn't been born as a guardian of time, but as a woman free to live, love, and choose. Setsuna is often portrayed as a university student or scientist in various Sailor Moon media. She is mature, independent, and refined, known for her love of fashion, science, and solitude. She enjoys tea, has an affinity for medicine and physics, and often appears composed, graceful, and intellectually driven. Among the Sailor Guardians, Setsuna is the most mysterious in civilian life, mirroring Pluto's mythic role, but with just enough humanity to hint at the emotional depths beneath her surface. Her demeanor is calm and reserved, but never cold. Living as Setsuna allows Pluto to experience something she was long denied, a sense of self outside of obligation. No longer chained to the space-time door, Setsuna learns to exist not as a symbol, but as a person. She walks among the outer Senshi, Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn as an equal and as family. In Sailor Moon Crystal and the manga, she takes on a nurturing role towards Hotaru, helping to raise and protect her. In this version of her life, Setsuna becomes a mother figure, a far cry of the lonely sentinel of time. Through this role, she doesn't just protect the future in the abstract. She safeguards a child, and in doing so, she begins to heal her own inner loneliness. Yet, even as Setsuna, there's always a trace of distance in her. She still carries the weight of what she remembers, even if only subconsciously. The weight of centuries spent alone, the unspoken love for a man she could never touch, the echo of the moment when she stopped time and paid for it with her life. There's a quiet sadness that clings to her, but also an undeniable grace. She knows things others don't, about endings, about silence, about the cost of devotion. The knowledge makes her a grounding presence among the Sailor Guardians. When she speaks, it matters. When she chooses to act, it changes everything. In essence, Setsuna is the human side of Sailor Pluto's soul, a glimpse of who she might have been if fate had allowed her a different life. She is not loud, but she is strong. She is not the center of the story, but she is its still point. Through Setsuna, we see that even the most eternal beings long to live simply, to wear soft clothes, drink tea in quiet moments, and hold someone close without fear of time tearing it away. She teaches us that even guardians need gentle spaces, and that no matter how far removed someone seems, there is always a human heart beneath the silence, waiting to be understood. Sailor Pluto was never the brightest star in the sky, nor the loudest voice in the storm. She did not seek the spotlight or beg to be remembered, and yet she endures, quiet, eternal, unforgettable. Not because she shone, but because she stood still while the universe spun wildly around her. She lived on the outskirts of the world, not to escape it, but to hold it together. Her silence was not emptiness, it was sacred. Her stillness was not absence, it was strength. She taught us that time is not only what we race against, it is what we carry, what we protect, what we sometimes give up for love. She taught us that love does not always need to be spoken, that loyalty can live in a glance, and that the deepest connections are not always seen by the world, but they are felt like a warm pulse just beneath the surface of fate. Sailor Pluto is not the moment that passes. She is the pause that gives it meaning. She is the gate that never closes, the whisper of eternity wrapped in velvet and silence. And though she lived in the shadows of time, in one fleeting heartbeat of sacrifice, she became something more than a guardian. She became human. She became love. She became a legend. She taught us that even silence can protect, that even solitude can love. And in her quiet devotion, she gave the world its future, asking nothing in return. So let us not forget her. Let us remember the stillness, the sacrifice, the soul who gave everything just to let the world move forward. For even time in all its relentless march will always pause where Sailor Pluto once stood.